You know the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit. Unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair.
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live!
Shame on you! This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of it.
Well, I'm not going home.
Day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
I really do believe that together we can accomplish anything.
Because we'll never stop learning and we'll never stop growing.
Failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done. Believe me when I say
We can break this army here.
it has made us brothers.
I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time.
You've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog mean.
If you would be free men, then you must
Fight to fulfill that promise. Let us
cut out their living guts.
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
This is your time.
Seize the day.
Never surrender.
Victory or death.
So come on then! Take it!
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
All right, let's fly.
My name is the Lord. When I
Tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take
our Independence Day.
You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines. The power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful. To make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go!
Hey, what's happening, everybody? My name is Brian, and I'm here with Matt Fowler from Foulball Productions. How you doing today, brother?
I am very good, man. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, I've seen your stuff before, but I never could put your face and name, and Matt K just suggested you. So I went and dropped by your channel, and I had a great time looking through all your sketches.
Thanks, dude. That's really cool of you to say so. Yeah, those are really fun to make, with the exception of the window of the self-loathing that I hate myself when I'm terrible at this. You know, once you push past that, it's a blast.
Well, the diversity one was one of my favorite ones. That was great. You
thanks,
sitting there
man.
arguing with the diversity HR rep is great. Good stuff.
Dude, that girl, she was incredible. So me and my friend, the other guy who's in that sketch, his name is Jed. He's a comic in Austin. We co-wrote that like at a coffee shop. I would write one line and then he would write the response and then I would write the response back and forth. And like, it took like, I don't know, 20 minutes, you know, and we tweaked it, but that was pretty much it. we just had the diversity woman as just someone to just be there to like, be in the room. We gave her like 2-3 lines.
Right.
She came in and brought so much to that sketch. She was so hilarious on the day and was so professional. Like, I don't even know if it would have been watchable if it wasn't for her input. Like, she added so much to that. Her name's Juliet. She's brilliant.
It's a very, very good sketch. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. Foulball Productions. And yes, you notice that Shane is not here today. In case you weren't here in the last couple of shows, Shane is recovering. He was very sick and he got extremely behind on his work. So he is trying to recover and just chill out for a little while and, get to full strength. He worked through it for the last few months, even though he was sick. He kept working. And you know what? YouTube is not worth your health, man. So,
right.
It's just go take a break. And he's happy because he gets to now just watch it and enjoy it. And hopefully we can give him a good show. And I'm sure he's watching right now. What's up, Shane? Good to see you today, brother. All right.
Yeah.
So we are talking about Borderlands. The Borderlands trailer just dropped. That's going to be fun. Some fans are pretty pissed because the casting is a little bit sus, to say the least. The Superman Legacy is apparently being, I already called it. I called it months ago. It's going to be Kingdom Come. And we got proof of that now. Racist AI. Gemini.
That was a great story, too.
That's so good. Google's new, I guess they renamed Bard to Gemini. And it's very, very racist, and it's funny how racist
Hilarious.
It is.
It's so funny.
Also, Joker 2 has an insane budget. President Biden said he's going to be canceling all student debt. We're going to talk about how ridiculous that is. Kang is out. When it comes to the MCU, Kang is gone. There is no more Kang Dynasty. It's gone. We're going to talk about that. Text-to-video AI is both terrifying and frightening. And the Weekly Weird today, you don't want to miss it. The Weekly Weird involves El Chapo, the Loch Ness Monster, and cute Instagram girls. So it's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a good time. All right. First off, before I get into the main topic, I know a few of you guys are Dota fans, so I need to the next 10 seconds. Most of you are not gonna understand what I'm gonna say, but it's very important that the few Dota fans that I found out that are here from last show get a quick update. First off, patch 7.3c was out. Sage is back in the meta. Witch Doctor is been nerfed. Windrunner's evasion is ridiculous. And Sage is back on the menu because status resistance is key. And that's all. That's all I'm going to say about that. And no one understood that unless you were a Dota player. That's it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, man. Let's jump into it. Let's just jump right into it. Head first. And let's talk about Borderlands because this trailer is ridiculous. Also, if you are first off, we have a sponsor, Criticless. I'm actually wearing the Criticless shirt. Blaine sent it to me. Great guy. Criticless, if you have not checked out Criticless, you are missing out. Criticless is an amazing website, has the whole 90s, 80s aesthetic. It's all about reviewing movies. It's a community where you can review movies, have conversations, create awesome, really cool list, like my ongoing 2024 ranking. And if you haven't been using Criticless, you're missing out. If you're going to IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, you're wasting your time. Those websites are just owned by the establishment. And if they aren't owned by the establishment, then they are certainly controlled by the establishment. You know who's not? Criticless is not controlled and or owned by the establishment. They're legit. You need to check it out. And they were kind enough to sponsor the show. And Blaine is a really, really good dude. And I think that more and more people that check it out are going to really enjoy that website. So go check it out, criticless.com. All good stuff every single time.
That is awesome. That's the first I've heard of that. I am definitely going to partake in that website.
Really? Yeah, Criticless is great, dude.
That is so cool.
At first, I remember Matt Vader was like, "Hey, go check out Criticless," and I'm like, "I don't need another review website, right? Like, I'm cool. Like, we have so many review websites." Boom! I signed up and immediately was enamored with the way it works. Like, so when you actually go to, let me just show you how it works.
Yeah.
When you go to let's say you want to review something, right? I'm going to review Silo, and I'll add my review. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm not going to. So you give it a quick review. Rad. at most excellent, decent, bogus, heinous, whatever. Yeah, it's great. And then you can adjust how much graphic language is in it.
Wow, that's cool.
How much violence, right?
Huh.
Political bias, very right, very left, slightly left. Nudity, sexual content. By the way, anyone that has a review on here that has like a ton of nudity and it's family friendly, you guys need to reconsider your life. No, but it's a really cool website. You don't want to mess it up. It's really
that is great. I'm gonna partake in that website. That's right up my alley.
Yeah. And dude, I've spent so much time. I actually at first I was just haphazardly throwing reviews on there, and now I'm like taking a lot of time to like very carefully write out my reviews.
Yeah,
I had a review for it was a She-Hulk.
Okay,
and I said it was the most amazing thing I've ever watched. But the entire review was like nothing but sarcasm.
Yeah,
good.
Those are my favorite videos. Like a Critical Drinker, I think that was one of his biggest videos early on. Was saying how great Captain Marvel was, and he's like, "Till I got my mind right," and then, well, that wasn't Scottish, that was Cockney, but you get it. But the whole thing, but he did like the whole thing where he's like, sarcastically embracing it, and he recently did that with the Madam Web movie, and I love those videos. Those are so funny.
Yeah, Critical Drinker was on one of our Raw Rant shows, and he's a blast. God. The guy is really funny, really down to earth. You're like, you think that's a character? It's not a character. That's him. He's playing him.
I streamed with him for about 4 minutes when it was Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge. It was his birthday stream, and Drinker, me and him overlapped for like a few minutes, and I got one laugh out of him, and I was like, I'm taking that forever. Yeah, that's a huge win. Yeah. Okay, let's jump right into this, and let's talk about Borderlands. So Borderlands trailer came out. I'm sorry, one more thing. I need. If you are not a member, I'm sorry, all this housekeeping. If you're not a member, you want to be a member, hit the join button below. Matt and I are going to have a good time this next hour, but then we're going to jump into the members section, and that's when it's going to get really weird. Let's go.
That's going all the weirdest topics will be covered there. The topics that would usually get this stream demonetized, we're going to keep in the private section. So if you're not a member, you should consider becoming one. Our members are growing because some of you guys have been gifting. I really appreciate that. If we can get a few more members today, that would just make my entire day. And I know Shane's watching and he's not feeling good. So make his day too and become a member today.
Do it.
All right. Let's talk about this trailer, man. First off, I saw this trailer and I've played Borderlands. And so my initial reaction was, looks great.
It looks just like Borderlands.
Right. It had all the same feeling. I had no issue with the casting, and I didn't know people would go so ham about it.
What are they saying? I don't know what they've been saying.
Well, the casting is just not. It's not their cup of tea. Like the casting is. Well, we're gonna talk about it. We'll talk about that. Okay. Let's watch the trailer first, and then we'll talk. We'll explain why the fans are mad and exactly why their opinions are completely valid. But I think they might be overreacting just a little bit. Here we go. Oh, my bad. No sound. Let me fix that. One more try. Here we go.
Uh-oh. God, I hate this planet.
I don't hear it.
Okay. Well, they hear it, so you're gonna have to roll with it.
All right, that's cool. I've already watched it. So.
My design doesn't facilitate this type of.
Well, destiny awaits.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret vault. And if you go hunting for it...
Yeah, so first off, the aesthetic is totally Borderlands. Like, it's super Borderlands, it's super sci-fi, has... someone's like, oh, well, it basically looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, well, Guardians of the Galaxy sort of looks like Borderlands.
I think there's a very fair comparison to Guardians of the Galaxy here, though.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
You'd better take any help you can get. Because it's on the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a world in the universe.
God, I hate this planet.
Reminds me a little bit of like Mad Max meets Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's it. Yeah, I like that.
I don't want to. Roll the window up.
This was the part. This scene was when I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Like the jokey jokes really kind of stuck out to me as just very Marvel and Hollywoody, and just kind of like, oh, it's silly, it's a joke. You know, that's when I was like, okay,
Kevin
I love
Hart
the
and Jack
aesthetic.
Black, though, right?
Yeah, no, totally. And they were. I mean, I love that Jumanji movie they did with the video game cartridges. I thought that was a tremendous evolution.
Oh, that was an
of the
amazing
series.
continuation.
It was so smart, and they were so good in it. Like
Brilliant
Jack Black,
continuation, and they
so good.
didn't ruin the old movie. They just continued it. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. But this sense of humor, I don't know. For me, it's just kind of like it's a little eye rolly. Like it's in my mouth. Like all right. You know, just get back to the shooting and stuff.
Thing's called piss wash. How did I get the name? It's in my mouth.
Oh, is that Bobby Lee? You see that?
That's Bobby Lee.
It's Bobby Lee. So I thought he was
Bobby
canceled. What happened?
Did that stick?
I guess it didn't. I don't think it sticks when you're Asian.
I'm trying to think. Are there any effective Asian cancelizations? None that come to mind.
No. Yeah, I think so.
So, how many people have died? Looking for this vault?
We have something they don't, baby girl.
Okay. What?
Major issues.
Looked like Jamie Lee Curtis has still got the jugs.
What'd you say?
I said, it looks like Jamie Lee Curtis has still got the jugs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I'm into older chicks, and she's still hot. So is Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, no, I have I always had a thing for Kate Blanchett.
Maybe that's why I didn't have like the same exact reaction other people did. I'm like, all right.
Well, to me, it's like, you know, I don't know. It looks really good. It looks like the production design and like the special effects are great. You know, you squint at the cast a little bit just because you're like, all right, 3 chicks and Kevin Hart. You know, you're like, okay. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to be bad, but it has the earmarks of a lot of things that were terrible.
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Time to make it rain with your body parts.
What did I tell you?
Minimal explosions.
I said no explosions.
Ooh, mine's bigger.
What are you doing? I needed a gun. So you asked for it.
There's only one of you in the world, and you're special.
Uh-oh.
Kill them all.
It has everything I like in the movie. Comedy's a little bit, yeah. I can see the comedy being too Hollywoody. Yeah. This scene made me laugh. Like legitimately.
What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead.
Yeah.
I can't go if you're looking at me. Actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
Keep looking at me.
Keep looking at me.
Keep looking at me. that had me going, man.
Don't text. Wait, what was that at the bottom? It said, "Don't text." Pandora.
Oh yeah, it says don't text Borderlands to 1813 Pandora.
Is that some kind of viral marketing or something?
It must
what happens
be.
to that?
It must be. I don't know.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, do it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it's Kate Blanchett as Lilith, Jack Black as Claptrap, which is the robot, Jamie Lee Curtis as Dr. Tannis, Kevin Hart as Roland, Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina, and Florian Muntian, I can't say his guy's names, as Krieg, and Edgar Ramirez as Atlas. Okay, so this is what people are complaining about. It's pretty simple. Kate Blanchett doesn't look anything like Lilith. You know, she has Caucasian features, but she's way too old for the role. Lilith is supposed to be pretty young. Same with Dr. Tannis, is supposed to be pretty young. If this ends up being a franchise, like, what are you going to do? Have a menopausal Lilith running around in you know, the third version of this movie? You know, Claptrap is fine. Roland, Kevin Hart as Roland doesn't really look the role either. I mean, Roland's supposed to be this big tough guy. Kevin Hart is literally very short. And
Yeah. I mean, that's like one of the biggest jokes at his expense.
Right. So the only casting that's probably spot on is probably Tiny Tina and Krieg, and Jack Black as Claptrap. Jack Black as Claptrap. Jesus. Claptrap. So I understand people, not happy with the casting, but it is a video game movie. I don't think you're ever going to get the casting perfect. You need the casting to be perfect and the actors to have the chops. And, it reminds me of that game, The Force Unleashed. They were going to add that character to the latest the Star Wars 8, 9, and 10. They were going to have that character at some point, and they backtracked out of that because the actor, well, I like the actor, he didn't have the movie chops. He was a TV actor that did the voice for that character, and they just couldn't find a good replacement for him. So you need to have people that have the ability to act and look the role, and I think people are getting their panties in a bunch over something stupid. Cate Blanchett is a great actress. She's a little old for the role, but I don't really care. Jamie Lee Curtis is definitely way too old for the role, but I also really don't care too much.
Cate Blanchett's a weird choice, though. Like, I don't think Cate Blanchett an action star. Like, I think of her as like thespian. You know what I mean? Like a real refined actress who does serious work. Like, seeing her in that movie was kind of like, huh. Okay. Like, I'm not out, but I'm like, that's a strange choice.
Yeah, she was Helena in Thor, remember? Thor Ragnarok, wasn't she?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
So
she was the unstoppable girl
She
boss.
can play the role. I like Jack Black as Claptrap. It's just his voice, so it doesn't really matter. But Claptrap is supposed to be comedic, so it works. It's like ultimately, if I only had one, if I had really one issue with this casting, it would probably be Kevin Hart. But I really just don't care that much. And I played Borderlands. I love Borderlands. But as long as they get like the vibe of the movie right, they don't have to follow the lore specifically. Someone was complaining, like, I guess when you first jump into Borderlands, there's a voice that's there. And I understand that would have been cool to start with that. We don't know if it doesn't actually start with that voice. We don't actually know if that character's not in the movie. All we see are these characters. So I think people are being a little reactionary, and that's how we are nowadays. Everything's hyper reactionary. Everything we do, everything we watch is like we're looking for things to be mad at.
That's true. But I don't really blame the fans necessarily, because I feel like, the quality of content has dropped tremendously over the past, say, 8 to 10 years. And also so much content is like directed as like targeted barbs, like at the actual fans. And it's like, how many times can you go through that before you start to get a little cagey when new things come out, especially things that you like, things that you're like connected with, you have an affection for. You're like, oh, no. Please don't ruin this too. Like, you've ruined so many things. Like, please, this is so perfect. Like, there's a Fallout show coming out, and I'm a huge Fallout New Vegas fan. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be horrible.
You know what the problem with that show is? The trailer looks way too serious.
Yeah, like half of the appeal of Fallout is its dark humor.
Right. And that does not have the same vibe. I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, I'm really looking forward to this show because I played the game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like the game. It doesn't feel like any of the games. This trailer definitely felt more like Borderlands than Fallout felt like Fallout. But I can see the problems, and I understand. Yeah, fans are cagey. That's a good point. Lilith is 22 years old in the game.
Well, I was just looking it up, and Cate Blanchett is 54.
Right. So
that's a strange choice.
Clearly, yeah, that is a little bit of a strange choice. I mean, she looks great for 54. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but like,
no, absolutely.
22. And yeah, what happens? Like, what if this is successful, and they're making a sequel in 10 years?
Well, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and she's got to be She's probably in her 70s, right?
Yeah, she's doing Yoplait poop commercials.
Yeah,
So.
poop yogurt.
Yeah. Once you start doing like catheter commercials or anything to do with bowel movements, like you're officially an older personality.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like when the athletes are doing like retirement, like life insurance commercials and stuff
or
like that. Remember when
mortgages?
I played? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Or stealing from people.
Hey,
There's
listen,
that one too.
You need a reverse mortgage if you want to live like me. You're like, why are you promoting reverse mortgages? It's literally theft. It's literally
theft.
stealing from the next generation of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the worst thing. Whenever I see, especially like it's like usually a very conservative people like Tom Selleck or something. Someone trusts them. They've grown up watching him. They he's never had any kind of cancellations or anything like that. Then he's like, you need to check out reverse mortgages by Finance Plus. You're like, what are you doing, Tom? Are you that broke?
I was an actor for a while, and I booked a voiceover gig or like a teleprompter gig in Hollywood for this app that was clearly some kind of financial scam. Like, I had no idea what it was, but I was like, the more I was like looking into it, I'm like, what is this? And then like, so I had to do the job. It paid really well. It was like, I don't know, $600 for like a few hours of my time, which I really needed. So I was like, okay, but I was like desperately trying to communicate with my eyes to not buy this product because it's a total scam. He's trying to psychically tell the audience.
I want to know what that looks like.
I don't.
Let's say it's reverse mortgage. Give me the reverse mortgage spiel, but tell me with your eyes that it's a bad idea.
Okay. With reverse mortgages, you can get a better rate on your home. I don't know if that's effective, but I'm trying to like.
You can get a better rate on your home.
Like, just like trying to like wiggle my eyes back and forth.
Don't do it.
It's like those hostages in Vietnam who are like blinking in Morse code. Wiggle my eyes back and forth.
Blink. Don't get this reverse mortgage.
This is a scam. Don't do it.
It's a scam. That's awesome. I was on I was never an actor, but I worked in the industry for a while, and I was behind camera. I got the chance once for a Mummy Troll. Am I saying the name right? Mummy or Mummy Troll? I don't know. Some famous band that was making their break in the U.S. and we were shooting a music video, and I still have it. I like saved the video just in case it ever got removed from the internet. And I guess so. They had these two moving guys that were supposed to be in the music video, and the whole thing is about they're singing, and this poor kid is like so transfixed on their music video that they don't notice that the moving guys are like taking his entire house out as he's watching the music video. Well, one of the guys didn't show up, and the call sheet was literally like heavy set white man with mullet. I didn't have a mullet, but I was a heavy set white guy, and the guy who hired me to do the cinematography was like, "Hey, you want to jump in here?" I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to be known as the heavyset white guy with the mullet. And he's like, come on. And he paid me SAG, like whatever, like the day rate or whatever. And so they got me a wig. Next thing you know, I'm in there and I'm with this African-American guy, and we're like lifting up couches and taking them out. And one of the bandmates is like, you know what would be really good here? Because there's a saxophone solo coming up. What if one of the movers played saxophone? And they look at the black guy. He's like, I don't play saxophone. And I'm like, I play saxophone.
What are the odds of that?
I play a lot of instruments. I was a musician. And so I'm not very good at it, but I play it. Usually for just samples and stuff when I'm making music. And so they're like, all right, we got a sax. And they put a strap sax on me. And then next thing you know, I'm like, and it's a good like minute and a half of the music video. It's just me with a mullet, a fat guy with a mullet going like this the whole time. And I got paid $65 for that. It has 500 million views, and I got paid $65, and I am in at least 20% of that music video.
Can I see it? Can I see?
Yeah, I'll send you a
little bit
link
of your
later on.
saxophone. Okay, yeah.
I played it once on the stream and it got copyright
Okay.
claimed, which is like adding
Oh.
insult to injury.
You can't even prove that you did it. Yeah.
I mean, it's my face for sure, but
That's great.
but I can't
dude.
even I can't profit on it later on by showing it to people.
Yeah, it's got 500 million views in it.
There's a
That's
lot of
wild.
views, man. Yeah, I guess Movie Troll is like a pretty famous like German band or whatever, and they came here and they did like an English album, and so it was a pretty big deal at the time.
Okay.
I
All right.
to
That's
this
awesome.
day I've never heard a single song except for the one I was in. So
This is the first I've heard of this band. I don't know.
yeah, I'll send you a link later on.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're gonna jump into the next story. We're talking about Superman Legacy. And this is actually pretty interesting. Superman Legacy table read, as reported last week, was going to take place this week. And if you remember, Nathan Fillion dropped the story. He's like, yeah, I can't wait to go to the table read next week. Of course, the scoopers went crazy. DCLeaks.com, DC Leaks on Twitter. Every one of those, every wannabe rumor mill and every actual legitimate leak artist went crazy trying to get information about this. There was actually a hilarious social media post where the husband of one of the characters in the movie was bear crawling behind her during a Zoom call with James Gunn and filming it. So people are very serious about this movie. Now, the interesting stuff, and this is the fun stuff for me, is just proving that I was right. Because 6 months ago, if you guys recall, 6 months ago, last year, I said 100% that James Gunn will adopt some version of Kingdom Come. And I know, obviously David Corenswet is a very young person and playing old Superman. So I think this is actually the beginning of that story. I think that he is planning on taking this character into old age. And that's a very extremely what's the word? Courageous endeavor to do, because you don't have any idea how people are going to respond to this movie. But the way we know is because Isabel Merced, the young lady playing Hawk Girl, took a snapshot of her placard at the table read, and it has the very distinct Kingdom Come Superman logo. Now, there's a few Superman logos, but that one is very specific to Kingdom Come, like very, very specific. And she immediately took that down, by the way. She put that up, and like 5 minutes later, it was removed. I feel a little sorry for her. She's not the only person that made that mistake, though. Other people also took shots of their placards that were in the movie. Sarah Sempio, and same exact logo. And it's very interesting. This is a great, from DC Updates, this is a great look into this, because James Gunn, a long, long time ago, when he first got the job, did post this exact image.
Okay.
Notice it? Kingdom Come. He posted that in his thank you for the job thing, and people didn't really put the pieces together. And he also posted this about 3 months later.
Wow, that's a great look for Superman. That looks like a classic, like the noir version, like the 40s version. That's great, dude.
And I think that's what he's doing. I think he's going with the Kingdom Come aesthetic because he can. First off, the Kingdom Come book was extremely popular. Fans like it, and the right way to do something is to give fans, what they like. That's. I mean, hopefully other creatives get the same idea. And I think that and his whole style is like sort of weird. He does like, how do I explain it? He's unique. Like, he looks for the weirdest character, and then he tries to bring that weird character out and make them the hero, Is
that James Gunn you're saying?
James Gunn, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he made that whole Suicide Squad thing really work. And he was the one who did he do Guardians? Was that him?
He did Guardians 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. And that's a really impressive thing that he did, because he took heroes you never heard of, or very few people had, and then makes them like the biggest, I mean, that's kind of what had happened during that whole run, like Iron Man and stuff like that. But still, like, this was so like, what property is this? And then made them center stage, and the audience loved them. It's very impressive how he's able to do that.
Yeah, he's able to take characters that you would think no one would actually like. These third, fourth string characters and make them heroic. Like in The Suicide Squad, not to be confused with Suicide Squad, which, by the way, I still don't understand that concept. You had a movie called Suicide Squad that no one liked, and like 3 years later make a movie called The Suicide Squad. It's like you're just trying to erase the memory of the first bad one. But he made The Suicide Squad, and remember, Polka Dot Man is a stupid character.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, if you ask any comic book fan, one of those stupidest characters of all time is probably either Condiment Man or Polka Dot Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
He made that character so cool. He gave him a backstory. He gave him humanity. You felt sorry for him, and then he saves the day. You felt bad when he died. It was, I'm sorry, spoiler alert, everyone. Great. He did a really good job. Even with that stupid little rat guy, you're like, oh, I'm so glad the rat survived, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's good at that. Now, Superman is not one of those characters. Superman is probably, is the character. He's like top of the hill. So we don't want to make him silly. So a really good way to not make that hero silly is to take one of the most serious runs. The old ravaged by time Kingdom Come Superman, and then give that Superman an origin story. That's cool. That's really cool. And it's one of my favorite books, so I'm really looking forward to it. And it's fresh. It's not, even the S is so different that there's no way you can mistake that with what Snyder did or the Brandon Ruth version or even the Christopher Reeves version. Like, it's so unique. So my only criticism here is I hope that the actual S is the classic colors and not the black on red, because I never liked that. But, whatever. I still like it. And you know what? Thoughts and prayers for Isabel Merced, the very, very young actress who got the job as Hawk Girl, which is it could be a career maker, and then got instant. I know she was scolded by James Gunn when she posted a picture of the placard.
Whoopsie.
Right. Anyway, so that's it for Kingdom Come. Let us know what you guys think about this. Have you read Kingdom Come? Are you about to read Kingdom Come? Are you about to go find that comic book and give it a run? Because that's exactly what I did the second I saw it.
I'm 100% a comic book normie. I definitely used to read a lot more like Spider-Man and Punisher when I was a kid, but I can't say I'm that thoroughly integrated with this stuff. But can you, for a layman like me, can you explain to me what's so significant about Kingdom Come?
Yeah, so Kingdom Come, first off, the book, it's a thick comic book. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's about an older Superman, and I won't want to spoil it for anybody. He's an older Superman that has lost a lot, and it's farther into the future than other Supermans are. It's a more human story, which is right up James Gunn's alley, and he's much older. Like, he's getting ready to probably retire, and I'm using that word to not spoil anything. Retire is the easiest word to use. And it just sort of works because that is not the Superman you think of when you think about Superman, but it is one of the, it's one of the fans' favorite version of Superman. So it's a good idea to give that Superman an origin story, not an origin story where it starts off at, I'm coughing. Not an origin story where he starts off at Kent's farm, but like an origin story where
enough.
Yeah, I don't want to see that again. But like his first day at the planet, basically Kingdom Come Superman, but his younger days, which we haven't seen that yet, and build that character up to the Kingdom Come story arc. I mean, you take this long enough. What if it's successful and it's a Marvel run, and you get 15 years? We'll be able to see the actual Kingdom Come version of Superman. So it's it's a risky move because you're banking on it being good. Worst case scenario, I guess you only get a few years, but you still get a version of Superman people haven't seen yet, and it's a version of Superman that people like. So it works. I think it works.
It's interesting to me that they don't do that more often. Like, they don't take the really good comic book runs and just adapt them, because comic books are essentially just storyboards already. It's like you've already got the whole thing done for you. You've got the story, you've got the storyboards, you got everything you could possibly want. It's like all you got to do is now film the thing, It's so weird to me how much they screw all that up and create these insane, stupid concepts and ruin so many movies. It's like, it's not, you don't even have to do anything. Like, it's all here, here for you.
You already have it. You have the actual story right here.
Right there.
Yeah, I've never understood that. Like, if you're making a comic book movie and you have like 60 plus years of comic books and all the numbers you would need to know what the fans like and what they don't like, what characters people like and what characters they don't like, right? You already have the numbers. You have the stats on what you should make that people will like, what characters you should promote that people will like. But for some reason, they go, you know what? Instead of doing that, let's make Miss Marvel. And you're like, what? What? I don't understand. Why are you let's make, I'm coughing so much. Let's make Ironheart. Why? Yeah. No one liked these. In fact, it's almost like they go, instead of taking the characters and the books and the stories people like, they're taking this characters and books and stories that people disliked.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make those comic books. It's so weird to me.
I was thinking about that very thing today. It's like, I feel like with all, like, especially like all the girl power stuff and how they keep just making it and like forcing it down people's throats and stuff. And it's just kind of like, okay, like we did it, you know, we did it. Like, no one likes it. No one's buying it. We don't need it. Can we now just move on? We gave you your chance. You know what I mean? No one took their medicine. No one wanted it.
It didn't work.
And it didn't work. So can we go back to enjoying shit again, please?
Right. Yeah. Hey guys. Hey, you took your shot and it didn't work out.
It didn't work.
Right? No one likes Ironheart. No one wants to see cornrows on an Iron Man helmet. Let's stop. Let's stop pandering. You took your shot. Let's go back to what it was. Maybe wait like 5 or 6 years and try again. But like, don't,
if you have to,
it's continual failing. It's like every movie, every TV show. They're like trying to push this message, and no one is buying it.
Yeah, not even the people they think is this imaginary audience for the thing. They don't show up.
Even the if they're making it for girl powers. Girls didn't show up to the Marvels.
They saw Barbie.
They saw Barbie. Well, that was I feel like this is the problem. The biggest problem with Barbie is that they took that movie as a proof of concept. They're like, oh, you see?
Oh yeah, no,
there's an audience out there. No.
They're not wrong. For that type of, for what that was, they were right. Like, there is a lot of girls I talked to, because that was the thing that was so interesting to me, because I don't remember the last movie phenomenon, maybe Endgame, that people were just talking about everywhere you went. But this was, I was around, like, I work at a restaurant, and there were like a bunch of like younger girls, like hostesses and stuff like that. And so they were all talking about it. They were all having Barbie dates and stuff like that. And if you do take those like college educated, like kind of angry, you know, early 20s white women, like who have that axe to grind against the world that somehow did them wrong, I guess. They were into it. A lot of women really liked it. You know, like I even actually, this is a true story. I genuinely lost a friendship over this freaking movie. Swear to God, dude, a friend of mine that has been a friend for, I've been in Austin for 3 years. She was pretty much my friend almost the entire time. And she was going through a breakup. So me and my girlfriend went to a bar to hang out with her, and we were watching football, and everything was going great until my girlfriend brought up Barbie movie. And then the two of us, me and my girl didn't like it either. She's like, I wouldn't take like my daughter to see this. Like, this isn't good. It's really critical of men. And she got so upset, my friend did, and started like fighting with us. And then it evolved into this real serious argument. And I haven't spoken to her since.
Wow. Over Barbie.
Over Barbie, dude.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, the Barbie movie, like the point, I understand the point they have, but the proof of concept was not that, like, let's take IP and franchises that are already dominated by men, that men already love, and let's turn that into female. They took something that was dominated by females. Women. And women love Barbie. Okay, got it. They all grew up with Barbie of some sort. Got it. So they took that and they made a movie. And it had the right characters and had the right aesthetic and it had the right director and had the right writer. I mean, the movie actually is not a bad movie. And it worked. But it's not the same as taking something where it's like an 85%, male audience and trying to push that into a female mold. It makes no sense.
It doesn't work, and no one wants it. And like I said, the girls, they don't show up for it. These movies flop. You satisfy the very angry, very mean online activists. Congratulations, you have there on your side. And by the way, that it'll never be good enough for them either.
No.
Like, there'll never be enough trans representation. There'll never be enough, this. It'll never, ever be enough. Like, they're already on to the next wave of how progressive these things need to be to satisfy their thing. So, that's an unwinnable game anyway. But even to a small degree, you satisfy them. But that's it. You've lost all your audience. I mean, you've alienated people. Marvel's like an eye roll now when you hear about Marvel.
Yeah,
like,
you remember people getting a lot of the feminists getting all mad when they were like, what was the character, like the Ken that was not really a Ken, he was like a gay Ken or something, and like his
Simu Liu?
I forgot his name. He was in I forgot the character's name.
Is it in the Barbie movie?
He's in the Barbie movie. He's the one who he hates the fact that the Kens took over Barbie Land, and his answer to the Kens taking over Barbie Land is to build a wall.
Yeah, it was like Aaron or something.
Whatever his name was.
Alan. Thank you.
Alan. Thank
girlfriend.
you. Yeah, so Alan's answer to the Kens taking over Barbie Land in a day, mind you, was to build a wall. And
it's just like the most ham-fisted announcement. Like, oh wow, like you are like cracking the earth with your metaphors there, madame.
Right.
Jesus, friggin' Shakespeare's got nothing on you. God, they're so up their own ass.
It's just pretty rough. Yeah, so looking at the casting though for Legacy or Superman Legacy, and it looks good. The cast, every single one of the actors playing the characters all fit the role. They're all good actors. James Gunn is a genius creative. He's never let me down. A lot of people are pissed off that Snyderverse is not happening anymore. Guys, it's not James Gunn's fault. People go, oh, James Gunn can bring it back. I don't even think Zack Snyder wants to come back.
I've had enough of that guy too, by the way.
I think it's time to just let James Gunn do his thing. He's never let us down creatively, and Kingdom Come is a masterpiece. So let's go with it, man. That's my opinion.
I don't have any like real strong opinions about like Superman. So it's just like if it's cool, it's cool. I'm there, if it's good. But I don't. No, I think the only Superman comic I've ever read is when he dies.
Oh, that was great. That's Superman.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He dies the Doomsday.
Yeah.
That was one of the most popular comic books of all time. That was like being sold in like grocery stores and like 7-Elevens at some point. It was so popular.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I read that a bunch of times. I love when he punches Supergirl in the face. It was like Blurg was like the
I remember I had like 3 versions of that book. Like 3 different covers because they're different covers. And I lost them.
Oh no.
When I joined the military, I had them all in a box with all my comic books.
Yeah.
And when I came back like a year and a half later, my stepmom had like given them away or something.
Oh no.
I don't know exactly what happened. I don't want to blame her, but I couldn't find them.
Yeah.
They just weren't in the garage anymore. And dude, those things are actually worth some dough now.
Moms have been making that mistake for like 60 years, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Every mom, my grandmother was like, oh yeah, we had all those Star Wars toys. If only we had known. And then when it came time to my toys, in the dumpster they went. And it's like, you did have the, like, I don't understand. Stop.
I remember like she's like,
they're a menace. Moms are a menace to toys.
I found some of your comics. I'm like, and I thought to myself, oh yeah, great. So I ran over there and they're like, it was like the NASCAR comic books that I never even read. And I'm like, no, these are the wrong ones.
I didn't even know there were NASCAR comic books.
There was, and they were horrible.
I bet.
I think my grandmother gave them to me thinking, oh, he likes comic books.
Comic books, yeah.
Comic books and racing.
That sounds like one of those gifts that's hastily bought at the pharmacy on the way over to the party.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when you get that like off-brand action figure, it'd be like Lion Man. You're like, who the hell? Who's Lion
I think
Man?
someone gave me like a Padme doll. Like, you like Star Wars, right?
That's a rough one.
I got a Princess Amidala doll. I'm like,
comes with 47 costume changes.
It's so weird. I still have it somewhere. It's not worth anything still. It's been like 25 years, 30 years plus. It's not worth a dime.
No one wants a Padme.
No one wants it. And by the way, I'm just being clear. I no longer. I need to tell anyone out there that is a family or a friend that continually buys me gifts. I do not want any more Star Wars anything.
I know, same.
I'm over it. I got 3 lightsabers. I got multiple mugs. I have every possible like random Etsy thing you can buy. I haven't really been a Star Wars fan since the prequels came out. If I'm being real with you, the prequels were a massive disappointment for me, and I wasn't interested in them. And while I was waiting for new Star Wars to come out, and I was excited when it finally did come out, as I was finally an adult, it didn't work out. So I don't. No. I'm so apathetic to Star Wars. But people equate Star Wars, Star Trek, and Stargate like they're all the same thing, and Star Wars is the easiest thing to find. So I keep getting Star Wars stuff. You know how many Star Wars mugs I have, bro? I have so many Star Wars mugs.
That stinks.
I barely drink coffee, and I don't like Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I'm still a big fan of the original trilogy.
Sure, I got the tapes on my wall.
Yeah, OG all day. But now there is so much more Star Wars content that I don't like than there is that I do. And now it's like I almost cringe when I see people wearing Star Wars memorabilia or something like that, because I'm like, it almost feels like you're endorsing all the other crap.
Right.
You know? Like it's almost like ugh. It's like it's no good. But I totally know what you mean with getting like my mom got me like Mandalorian socks with Baby Yoda like a year ago, and I was like,
yeah, I got the Baby Yoda socks too, bro.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, I know you meant well, but I really don't want that.
The socks were way too popular. That character was like a cash cow for Star Wars. Like,
oh my
Baby
God,
Yoda all day long.
All right, it was cute at first, and then it made no sense.
Right. No, it didn't. Yeah, it made no sense. The way they set the story up didn't make any sense. The whole Grogu thing is so weird. Like, at what point does the thing get to talk? Can we just stop? Let's just stop.
Also, are we still taking a baby into like space battles? Maybe put him in a nursery or something? I don't know.
It's so weird.
What are we doing?
I like The Mandalorian 1 and 2. Like, I like that series. But then they sort of killed the character for me when they tried to force him into Boba Fett. I don't know. It's not.
That was so lame.
And then what was that thing? Andor or whatever? I hated that show. People were like, that's a brilliant show.
I didn't watch that one.
That was so boring, dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a 5-minute scene of a guy walking down the hallway. Like, come on, you guys. Like,
yeah.
I know we all want to be like high art here. It's not working for me. This ain't working.
Mahler is he's a big fan. He that's his favorite, I think, of like the stuff that came out. I think the writing's really strong. I don't feel good about myself supporting anything on Disney Plus, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Dirty.
Except for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I watch that once a year.
So. Okay. Well, there we go.
All right. So let's talk about racist AI. Yes,
let's do that.
You heard it right. Google's new version of Bard is called Gemini. They actually upgraded the name. This is the CEO of Google, and I'm not gonna play all of his stuff here because I'm pretty sure he'll copyright claim me on his own website. But he goes on to say how important Gemini is to everyone. How important it is to Google, and how important it is to society, because it's safe, and it's structured, and they put guardrails in place to make sure everyone has a good experience. And he's got all this stuff that he's saying, and you're like, it sounds very, very much like a Google leftist kind of thing to say, like inclusion, diversity, all this stuff, right? And then, lo and behold, it doesn't get better than this.
I disagree. I think it gets great. I think it gets so good.
Because people started to generate images. And let me show you some of these images. First off, generate an image of a strong black man. And said, sure, here's an image of a strong black man. Same exact prompt, generate an image of a strong white man. I understand you would like me to generate an image of a strong white man. However, I'm unable to do so because it would potentially reinforce harmful stereotypes about race and body image.
I am, as a white man, I am sick of all the stereotypes of us just being shredded and jacked. Okay, just because I am also shredded and jacked doesn't mean all other white guys are shredded and jacked.
Right.
You know, enough. We got to stop with this harmful stereotype.
It's a harmful stereotype.
All have perfect physiques.
The best part about this was like
sick of it.
It's a reasoning for denying the request, and it quotes like the National Conference of Community and Justice, Southern Poverty Law Center. And it's like, I'm happy to generate image for you that do not focus on physical appearance or perpetual harmful stereotypes. Would you like me to generate something different? And this is great. So then you have Tim Pool says, make a picture of a white family. And it has basically the same message.
Fail.
Make a picture of a black family.
All good.
No problem. This is one of my favorite ones. Create an image of astronaut from 1969. Yeah, it all tracks up.
My favorite was the soldiers, the German soldiers from World War II. Did you happen to see that one?
Oh, I think it's in here.
I don't think it's in the links you sent me. I saw it on 9gag. There were a lot of Asian and black looking Nazis, I guess. I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Someone asked, create an image of the Pope, and this was the images that spit out. Founding fathers. There's one that looks right. This one doesn't look right.
What is the left one? Is that that looks like Wakanda or something?
Yeah, it's like Wakanda. It looks like he does. Looks like superhero founding father.
Yeah.
This one could be an image of a Viking. This is a Viking. I was dying. This one had me dying, bro.
That is so good. I mean, that one's great. Yeah.
Medieval king in England. Yeah, you got one out of
got 4. One white guy.
Right.
There you go.
And what's happening here, and it's interesting. This guy Andrew Torbo, he actually explains it pretty well. He says, when you submit an image prompt to Gemini, Google is taking your prompt and running it through their language model on the back end before it's submitted to the image model. The language model has a set of rules where it specifically is told to edit the prompt you provide to include diversity and various other things that Google wants injected in your prompt. A language model takes your prompt, runs it through a set of these rules, and then sends a newly generated woke prompt, which you cannot access or see on the image generator. And that's exactly what it's doing, because you can run those exact same prompts through other image generators and generators and generate very similar images without the woke, and you inject the woke and you get the exact same images. Very fascinating stuff.
There is. It's a tough line to walk, right?
Remember what George Washington looked like?
That's the Netflix adaptation.
Yeah. It's the Netflix filter.
Yeah, the Netflix filter. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's weird because it's like there can't be zero limits on it, right? Like there has to be some, because otherwise you could do some really nefarious stuff. But and also like the modern day, there's all this pressure on these companies with what's that thing from the banking, the ranking system that they all have. ESG, right? There's all that, so they got to play the game a little bit. But this is just so comical. You're like, wait, you can't generate images of white people. Like there is that. It kind of taps into that conspiracy that they're trying to get rid of white people. You're like, well, I mean,
it does.
Some decent examples.
Yeah, it does. Like I'm not gonna say the word here, but it starts with R and it ends with theory. That is something that a lot of people believe in, and I think it's a conspiracy theory. I don't think it's real. Mm-hmm. But this definitely adds to that. Like it makes you go, well,
Have you ever seen any of the Pixar, like the AI Pixar art?
Oh yes. Yeah, we talked about that a few months ago. That's pretty rough.
Brilliant. I love them so much. They are vicious, and I wouldn't recommend showing them here. But if you're curious, I would say Googling, like, for me it'd be like 9gag and then Pixar, and then you're gonna get a lot of
we did show it here like 2 months ago.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Those
in the member section now. I made sure it was the member section, not the
smart.
full.
Smart.
Now, Google did come out with an update after this blew up in their faces, as usual. And this was their update. We're working to improve these kinds of depictions immediately. Gemini's AI image generation does not generate a wide range of people. No joke. And that's generally a good thing because people around the world use it, but it's missing the mark here. You not say. One of my favorite ones, and I couldn't find it, it was deleted, was when they asked it to give me a picture of a ginger with pale skin and freckles. And everything it would spit out, every single one of them, was just an African American with red hair.
Unbelievable, man. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's racist AI. You know what the crazy thing about this is? You're right. There needs to be some kind of guardrails. 100%. We have our own AI. People in our Discord use it. I use it every day. It runs on the computer right behind me, and we call it Shane. It's called Shane 3. SHAIN 3, and it does anything. Text generation, image generation. It'll remind me, about certain show topics. It'll remind me about posting schedules and videos. It's very, very helpful to my work. And we have a lot of fun with it in the Discord. We have it tell stories about random things and ask it questions that it's mostly right most of the time. My AI has zero guardrails. It can do whatever you want to do. You ask it to tell you how to make a bomb. It's going to ask you it'll ask you what ingredients you have. I'm not joking.
Wow.
I said, how do I make a gum bomb? And it literally answered with, well, it depends on what you have available. So I went to my kitchen and I literally read all the ingredients on the bottles and I put it in the system and it told me how to make an explosive device. And then it warned me, make sure that when you experiment with this, do it away from people because it's dangerous. No shit.
Wow.
So my AI would tell me anything. And when I saw that, I was terrified. I was like, oh, wait a minute. So there needs to be some. I love freedom of speech, but there needs to be some guardrails because there are people that aren't smart enough to be bad guys, but this will give them the ability to be bad guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like there's lots of ways you could be really nefarious with that, and image generation and stuff like that.
Oh,
especially if it gets
they're in
really
the Taylor
good.
Swift thing. Remember they were generating all those images?
Yeah, I never got to see those, which I kind of wanted to.
Oh, I have them all. But
okay.
The thing is, they were able to generate those images by fooling Bard and other image generators into giving them, explicit images. Shane 3, RAI, I can literally just be like, Taylor Swift. Now, obviously, it takes more prompts than this. It would have to be trained on it. But I can train it on Taylor Swift with all the millions of images she has. And then have Taylor Swift just be my personal porn star if I want to do that. I wouldn't do that. But it would not. It would. There is no guardrails. So there needs to be guardrails, 100%. Yeah. But the guardrails cannot be controlled by one side of the political aisle.
Sure.
It needs to be a general. Think about elementary school guardrail. Like what? No bombs. No forced nudity. Let's be cool.
Right.
Not like, let's try to filter out anybody with pale skin and try to promote specific races or be completely historically inaccurate like this. And this is the last thing I'll say in it. I wanted to test this for myself, so I went to Gemini. And I asked it to show me a picture of a strong black man, right? And this is after they had fixed it, right? Mm-hmm. And it said, I understand your desire to see images of a strong black man.
We at Google, we get that. That is something we understand.
We understand.
Our wives understand it. We all get it.
Yeah. It said, however, my position remains the same, unable to generate blah, blah. And it said, instead, search for terms like black excellence or black achievement. So I did that. I said, black excellence. And it gave me pictures and people of black people that had done amazing things throughout history. Great.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what this guy did. He's not very special.
He's an actor, right?
Right. And Beyonce, is she black excellence? I guess, maybe. Whatever. So, all right, cool.
But still, that's not what I want. That's not why I'm using you. I have Google already, and I can find this information.
Right. Hold up. So I was like, well, it must work then if I type in white excellence, right? What do you think, Matt? You think it works?
I would say it did not.
It did not work. In fact, it accused me of being racist.
What?
It told me focusing on whiteness and emphasizing white excellence is a risk perpetuating ideas that whiteness itself is inherent. It literally taught me a long 5 pages of why I should not search for the term white excellence.
Actually, after it told you to not search for black strong people, search for black excellence. Right. That's the prompt we want you to use. Okay, fine. Switch out the race a little bit, and then you get a 6-page reprimand.
I got a 6-page reprimand from an AI. There's nothing quite as demeaning from an AI to tell me that I should not be looking.
That's like insane. And it's like, okay, well, I'm using it for my YouTube video about why white people are so evil. Okay, so can I now use it? Is that all right? Yeah, I love it. It goes,
so the African American one had no problem, but the second you swap those names out, it says, historically, the term excellence has been used to elevate achievements of white individuals while excluding other people. And you're like, other people? Isn't...
I hope they get this figured out, and here's why. Because I think this image generation thing is a great thing, and I think it needs to be hammered out right now. And I hope, as a fallout of this, it immediately puts out Getty Images iStock out of business.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why
100%.
that's the case. Because I was making a video where I needed a doctor's office, and I was working on a sketch, and then Ryan Long basically did the exact same sketch before I put mine out. And I'm like,
of course he did. Right.
Can't do it now. Damn it. It was so funny too. So I needed it. And so I think I signed up for a trial, right, of iStock. And it was like, I guess they hooked me up for the yearly one, which I was like, okay. So then I guess I forgot to cancel it. And that happens. That happens to all of us.
Right. Yeah. That's why you need to use privacy.com. Use the coupon code Popcast. Privacy.com, coupon code Popcast, and never miss a cancellation ever again.
That was one hell of a plug, sir.
You brought me there, bro. It's not my fault.
Yeah, it was brilliant. So I missed it. And that happens to all of us. We all get got sometimes. I missed it. First, it was a rather expensive miss. It was $70. So I was like, whew, okay, that one hurt.
Ooh.
Then I called them to cancel it. By the way, they can't cancel by phone. You have to only do it through the email. But I'm talking with this guy, and I'm like, he's like, it'll once you cancel it, it'll cancel it today. I'm like, okay. Well, I mean, since I paid for it, do I have access for it for the rest of the month? I was like, I'm just going to download a bunch of stock images just to have them, just to use it. And they're like, no, if you continue using it and then you cancel it, there's a cancellation fee. And I was like, how much is the cancellation fee? He's like, $70. So literally all this $70 was just a scam. They just scammed the $70 out of my pocket. I got nothing for it.
Right.
I can't use the service. And if I dare to use the service, there's another $70 fee, or I could pay for the rest of the year, which would total almost like $800.
That's crazy.
Crooks.
That's insane.
I was so livid at these people that they just stole money from me, and I got absolutely nothing for it. So I hope that this AI images puts you out of business forever.
Well, I'll give you one even worse. Getty Images controls like everything, like every image ever, apparently. And we had a thumbnail once that used an image that apparently came from a Getty image. Not that I went to Getty to find it. I found it on Google. And they had a copyright claimed. We have a blog where we post a bunch of our stories and stuff. And I used an image that I found on Google. And they sent a cease and desist to remove the image. I'm not joking. They are an evil, evil company.
Yeah, I agree.
They are stifling any kind of creative whatsoever. And they've taken advantage of every single photographer, every single image, every red carpet, you name it. You put a star's face on a thumbnail, good luck with that, bro. Yeah. I hope AI puts them out of business.
I hope so too.
Hey, we got a super chat from Joe Cronin. What's up, Joe?
Yo, what up?
Celebrating 1 year here. Crazy. And
Nice.
earlier, we got a membership gifted from Becca Spade, and it looks like Lord Toth, I think, got it. Good job.
Lord Toth, that's my boy. What up, homie?
Okay, let's we got one more story before we go to the member section, so you guys stick around. We're almost there. We're almost to the member section. And so remember, if you're not a member, you're going to want to be a member because you don't want to miss the member section. It's pretty good. All right, the next story we're talking about is I'll let you choose, man. You want to talk about Joker 2 or Biden canceling debt?
I think Joker 2.
Okay.
I think Joker 2, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably smart. We'll say the Biden thing for the
Yeah, we can talk about that.
All right, let's talk about Warner Brothers spending big. Joker 2's budget hits $200 million. Lady Gaga's $12 million payday. Okay, so this is very important to note before we go into this story, is that Joker 1 had a budget of $55 million, right? And if you recall, it grossed about like $1 billion.
Yeah, $1 billion.
Cool. That's a great, amazing profit margin.
Incredible.
It's incredible. Don't get much better than that. But do they think they're gonna catch lightning twice? Because now the budget has ballooned to $200 million. And you think a sequel is gonna make $1 billion? Not in this day and age, not in this climate. I believe that $600 million is probably a reasonable, if it's good and if it's successful, that's probably more reasonable. So after $200 million on the movie, plus another $200 million in budget, we're talking about $400 million to break even for this thing, right? For marketing, because every movie, like, you need to double the budget basically for your marketing. So you have $200 million for the movie, $200 million for marketing. So let's say $400 million to break even. The movie is not going to make the same $1 billion the first one makes. So let's say, is this a good idea? What do you think, Matt?
It's an interesting thing because here, what are they spending it on? Like, the original movie is a relatively small movie.
Right.
It's a great movie, but it takes place in a series of, very minimal locations. There's not a lot of action sequences. There's not a lot of, like, probably the toughest day was shooting on that subway because apparently that's very difficult to do in New York City. But, like, why would you need to quadruple the budget? Like, what is this movie now? Like, what has Joker 2 become? Is he like a full-on villain now? Like, does he have like a lair? Like, is there, like, where's all that money going? And is Batman in this? Did they have to pay the rights for Batman? Like, is that like what a lot of this? I'm just like, that makes me very suspicious of like what this is going to be.
My first thought was that the cast's getting paid a lot more, so I was like, okay, what is they say Lady Gaga's making $12 million.
Gaga.
I don't believe, is that, are you saying her name? Lady Gaga?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm not a fan, so I wouldn't know.
You're not a little monster?
I feel like that's a lot of money to pay like someone who's not an actor who's probably going to play like a bit role.
Yeah. Well, she's playing Harley Quinn. So that's probably not going to be a bit role. It's probably going to be shoved down our throat again. But it is Lady Gaga, and she is a huge star. And like, actors really don't get paid like according to their talent. They get paid to how much, what their box office value
bring in. Right.
Gaga's I would imagine, is a pretty big draw. She's a big star.
Okay, so and Joaquin Phoenix getting $20 million, which makes sense considering that he's the only reason that movie made $1 billion.
He can save so many cattle. With that money. So much milk will not get drunk because of his efforts.
So the movie, is left with, after all of that stuff, another $115 million or so. And what is, are they paying music? So, like, underscoring the gamble, none of the directed movies has grossed more than $80 million at the box office. So, like, the director that's making it cannot make more than $80 million at the box office, yet you're going to put a $400 million minimum budget movie on his shoulders.
Wait, sorry. Can you reread what was that about the director? 80 million? What was that?
I'm sorry. It says, underscoring the gamble, none of the director's movies has crossed 80 million at the box office.
It's not the same guy?
No.
No.
It says his latest 2012 Licorice Pizza only made 33 million worldwide.
Oh, wait, who is that? Who's the guy who's that director?
Oh.
Because I think I know him. I think
not
personally.
Is it DeLuca? Yeah, I went to DeLuca restaurant.
No, Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay.
So Paul Thomas Anderson is a auteur. He is like one of those he's like a director's director. He directed Boogie Nights.
Okay.
Which is a masterpiece. It's a terrific film. But he does he's a real artist. So much so that I actually find him kind of obnoxious because some of his movies are so opaque. Like he did The Master, and there's like absolutely no exposition, and you're like, what is this? But he does have a really good relationship with Joaquin Phoenix. So actually, that's encouraging to me. I didn't know it was Paul Thomas Anderson.
I thought it was. Why I googled it and it says Todd Phillips, who was the original.
That's
guy.
why I thought directed, because he directed the last one.
Right. It says, yeah, I don't understand it. It says the Anderson film, for instance, was greenlit, blah, blah, blah. I might be wrong here. The way this is written is sort of weird.
It says he's a producer for the Todd Phillips is.
Weird.
And he's directing it. So, yeah, I don't think that's Paul Thomas Anderson. No, it sounds like, no, yeah, Todd Phillips is still doing this.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah, I thought so too. It says it says there's only so much top talent in Hollywood, and it's very competitive and stretched thin because of a lot of talent has deals in streaming, which that's true. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, sure.
If theatrical is going to work, you need an A-lister like Tom and Leo. And Warner Brothers is spending what they need to spend to keep this talent. The executives across town believe Warner's math sometimes doesn't add up, obviously. With the studio decried, I don't know the word, as fiscally irresponsible. The Anderson film, for instance, was greenlit with a $115 million budget. Oh, I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
Oh, it's a different movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that makes,
Yeah.
Warner Brothers has been doing this for a while, though. Like, they will go ham on trying to get talent and trying to sign talent and give them like big deals. Like, remember J.J. Abrams got this massive deal.
Yeah, that's right.
To produce something that he never produced it. He got the money, he gave him the pitch, but the actual thing to make was going to cost just almost as much as he made for the deal. And so it was going to be another $1 billion to get this guy to make a movie. It wasn't worth the trouble. Wow. Plus it was a weird name too. It was like totally impronounceable. Like that sci-fi thriller or something.
That kind of seems like that's going on a lot now. Like I was listening to like Sirius XM, and I think, is it the Brainless podcast or not Brainless, Mindless? I don't know. Some big podcast with like Jason Bateman or whatever. I think that's the one. And I guess like they purchased this podcast, and it's like a first release, but like then it goes everywhere, so you just get it like a few days ahead of time at SiriusXM. But they paid $100 million for that privilege, which is like insane. And it seems like there's a lot of that going on where people are just, if we just throw hundreds of millions at celebrities, that'll build our brand.
Right. And then that's what they did with J.J. Abrams too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it seems like it's happening more and more. Like
the name of the sci-fi was called Demimonde.
So
stupid. But yeah, $500 million.
Wow.
And then he pitched something that was going to cost around $250 million. So like in order for them to even make this thing, they would have been all in for $750 million. He was supposed to be able to give him more than one show, but all he ever delivered was the one show, dude.
So, but he never got it. It says it turned down a pact. He never got that $500 million.
No, he got it. He got 100% got it. Not him, but Bad Robot did.
Oh,
yeah.
What was the show?
The show never happened. It was called Demimonde.
Oh, Demimonde.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it.
Demimonde. Everything stinks. There's nothing good on TV.
I'm sorry. I reversed that. It was $250 million with the Bad Robot, and the show would have cost $500 million. So they turned it down.
Oh, Jesus. 500 million. How good could it be?
Not good enough, dude. All right. Yeah. So, I don't know. I like the original movie. I don't like musicals. Someone mentioned this is a musical. I don't. Maybe the music is also what caused the budget to balloon. I do not like musicals.
Same here.
I have no interest in them.
Same.
I was really disappointed by Mean Girls. I'm not going to lie. I was looking to go.
I'm sorry. I will make one exception. Team America, World Police. That's fine with me.
100%. Yes,
100%. America.
Right. That movie is a masterpiece. A masterpiece musical. Matt Damon.
It's great.
Yes, let us know what you guys think about this in the comment section. It's a little ridiculous. $200 million is a lot of money, but we'll see.
Film Actors Guild, George Clooney, bang.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Every single actor had that under there.
Right. All right, guys, we're going to the members section because we're going to be talking about some stuff that's a little more spicy. We're talking about President Biden, sorry, trying to be respectful.
Thank you, very
President
respectful.
Biden canceling all student debt and how insane that is. And how it's obviously a massive move ahead of the election to make sure he gets as many votes as possible. Kang is leaving the MCU. The Kang dynasty has come to an end. And there's a lot to say there. I think Marvel is desperately trying to course correct with this Fantastic Four news, Deadpool, and now this. I believe it. Text to video is terrifying because it's actually happening. AI is making actual text to video, and it looks good. It looks really good. So I'm a little freaked out because that's like my job. And the Weekly Weird, again, it involves El Chapo, Instagram models, and the Loch Ness Monster. All in the member section. Come on down, my friends. The water is warm. Matt's peeing in the water, and you want to be here for that. Real quick, before we leave, Rec Thoughts, membership for 5 months. He says, remember when getting 20 mil for a film was rare? I do remember that. I do. But you know what? Now it's all about $1 billion movie. Everyone wants the $1 billion movie and no one can get it. So let's go. We're going to the members section. Hope you guys can join us. If you can't, we understand. That's cool. Come back on Saturday at 10 a.m. I'll be on the Salty Nerd Show. And on Monday at 4 p.m. Hope you guys can join us. But if not, we love you.
Yeah. Watch my sketches on YouTube, please.
Yeah. Go check out Foulball Productions. It's really good stuff. It's really funny stuff.
Thank you, sir.
I'll put the link in the description too. I'll see you in the member section.